My name is Alec Young, and I'm here to answer some of those frequently asked questions about JSU's Pre-Law Program. I'm currently attending law school at the William & Mary Law School in Williamsburg, Virginia. So I was a political science major and English minor here at Jacksonville State University. And the courses that I found most helpful to me were, of course, the standard English courses that everyone takes, such as English Comp and English Literature. But even beyond that, there were also several courses in the political science program, both offered by Professor Tim Barnett and Dr. Lori Owens, such as the Government's Middle East, American Foreign Policy, and of course, Professor Barnett's Legislative Process course. All these courses in the political science program helped contribute to a good backdrop of actual American government education, which shows you the backdrop upon which our legal system functions. While the English courses offered by Dr. Teresa Reed contributed immensely towards my ability to develop and become a good writer. That being said, however, you don't have to be a political science major or an English major to do well in law school or to be attractive to a law school admissions advisor or director. In fact, many people go to law school with degrees other than political science and English. Okay, so the law school admissions test is a test that almost no one is going to enjoy, but everyone is going to have to take. It's a test that you absolutely need to study for. That being said, there are very few people who can get through it without having to study for it, but odds are you're going to be one of those people that need to break open the books and study just a little bit for the exam. Odds are the best thing you can do is sometime in your tail end of your junior year, probably your second semester, spend about 6 months or so prepping for that LSAT, and then going in and taking it. Although it is a hard test to get a handle on first at the get-go, it's also a test after you study a little bit, it's very easy to improve and become better at it. And at the end of the day, after you've gotten your test score and you've gotten off to the law school of your choice, no one is ever going to ask you about your LSAT score again, and how you do on the LSAT in no way is going to correlate to how you do in law school. I did. In fact, when you're applying for a law school, most law school admissions directors, they like to see at least 1 or 2 extracurriculars that show you obtain leadership roles, that show you're responsible, and most importantly, show that you're passionate about something. When I was here at JSU, I did several organizations, such as the National Society for Collegiate Scholars, the National Society for Leadership Scholars, and of course the debate teams run by Professor Dr. Lori Owens, such as the Model Arab League and Model United Nations. Now, when I was applying for school, Model Arab League and Model United Nations were the extracurriculars that I found most helpful and most interesting to talk about during that admissions process. It was always something that could show I was passionate about something and had a bit of a more worldly worldview than some of their applicants. However, you don't need to do it solely an academic-oriented organization like I did. There are plenty of organizations you can do, something to show that you're passionate, that you're responsible, that you obtain leadership roles, whether that be an off-campus job or whether that be a leadership position in a Greek organization. If you're a student who is considering going to law school, then the advice that I would give you is that unless you have a lawyer in your family or you have been heavily exposed to the field of law, generally forget most everything you know about attorneys. Because when you graduate from law school and you begin working in the profession, the majority of the work that you're going to be doing is hours spent in a legal brief or hours poring over documents in an office looking for something that is either going to help your client, keep them out of trouble, or ultimately, if you go into prosecutorial work, put someone who committed a crime or deliver the punishment or justice that is appropriate for the situation. And in those situations, my advice to you would be when you embark upon your legal course of study, look for something. Begin a search. Start it as a tabula rasa, if it were, someone with a blank slate, and then experiment with different areas of law until you find the area or the niche that is most appropriate for you and you're passionate about yourself. And believe it or not, whether you're looking for it, it always finds you. If you're considering law school, generally what I would say to you is probably the same thing your law school admissions advisor would say or your undergraduate academic advisor would say. Spend your first couple of years in undergrad just finding out who you are. Explore all the different academic institutions or concentrations that are of interest to you. And then as you move on in your course of study, usually the latter half of the year, just maintain a high GPA, find a couple of organizations or leadership roles that allow you to excel and show who you truly are to an advisor or to someone considering you for law school. Spend about 6 months, 3 to 6 months prepping for the LSAT, and then take it in the spring or the summer of your junior year, and then move on to apply for law school in the fall of your senior year. If you do that, then you will very easily be an incredibly attractive law school candidate, and any law school would be happy to have you. And remember, if you can get into law school, there's absolutely no reason why you can't also graduate with honors and succeed in any profession of your choice. In terms of the resources that JSU has to offer for your pre-law program, Dr. Lori Owens piloted a lot of things when I was a student here, such as offering free law school admissions tests for individuals to take. And every time a test was offered, I went and took one. I was someone who prepped incessantly for the LSAT because, like most people who go to law school, you're probably very paranoid about if you're going to get in or how things are going to go. But if you just take advantage of the resources that JSU provides through the pre-law program, you follow their pre-law track, it's kind of a pipeline, if you will, then you will do well on the LSAT, you will be able to get into law school, and you will also, beyond that, you'll also have a few schools of your choice to be able to choose from, because more than one school is going to want to take you. So the pre-law program itself, any student, regardless of their major or minor, can join the pre-law program and embark upon a journey going to law school. While once upon a time, the majority of law school applicants were political science students or English students, truth be told, these days, more and more students from varying disciplines, whether that be history or even theater, believe it or not, apply to law school and successfully obtain admission and do well. And in terms of the resources that the school has provided, such as those weekend LSAT tests that the school provides, those are provided to the school student body at no additional charge. In fact, if the only charge is getting up on a Saturday morning and going to take an LSAT test, which honestly is cost enough. If you're someone who is trying to go to law school because you see the lifestyle, you see the cars, you see the houses, then honestly, that is not the ideal reason to go to law school. It's a good reason to get interested in law, to become exposed to the profession itself. But there's so much behind the profession outside of just a paycheck or the car or the house. In fact, there are a lot of attorneys that don't live that kind of lifestyle. There are public defenders who do an important integral aspect of society. They defend people who are indigent and can't defend themselves. There are prosecutors who help ensure that the justice system functions appropriately. And most of those people, those high salary jobs, the big law, the big firm jobs that most people first become exposed to, and they think that's all there is to law, there's just simply so much more beyond that, whether you want to work for the State Department, a federal government, whether you want to do an in-house counsel job with a particular corporation or company or an entity, or if you want to go work for a government organization and regulatory work and try to defend the environment, if that is the thing that you're most passionate about. There are dozens, if not hundreds of ways that you can get involved in a process of law as an attorney. And as a degree or as a profession to have, it is incredibly versatile, and it allows you to work in numerous aspects of society, even if you ultimately don't truly use your law degree and just go into a position that's JD preferred, as they like to call it, which is a position where a law degree is nice to have, but it's not necessarily integral to the job that you do. So even if you go to law school, and even if you don't find that area of the law that you are truly passionate about, which I promise you, you absolutely will, there is always another opportunity just down the road for you to take. If you're someone who is applying to law school, all you really need to show to an admissions director is that you're someone who is respectful, that you are passionate about something, that you have taken a leadership role, that you're responsible, and ultimately that you're somebody who is going to represent that school's alma mater with pride. Because when you graduate from that law school, not only do you represent your undergrad institution, inevitably you're going to represent the law school itself. In fact, at William & Mary, they empathize this with something they call the citizen lawyer. Someone who is going to embody what the aspects of both being a citizen inside the greater profession itself. That is, to not lie, cheat, or steal, to value an honor code above all else, to ensure that when you embark upon your course of study or you embark upon your larger profession, that you're somebody who is going to represent the profession appropriately, and be an attorney with pride. If you are deciding to embark upon a journey to law school and to the larger legal profession beyond, then please contact the JSU Pre-Law Advisor or your own JSU academic advisor to begin your journey to law school and onward to the larger legal profession.